is cognitive decline, typically brought in due to family feeling like they aren't able to do their activities of daily living, so ADLs. Vascular dementia has like vascular past medical history of like smoking, hypertension, diabetes, or even a thromboembolism, so anything that could like lead to a stroke. And it's a stepwise decline. So over a period of months, it's gonna be more things that they're unable to do. And then Lewy body dementia, they're gonna have the hallucinations, the REM, REM sleep, behavior disorder, and they can also present with Parkinsonian features. And so for Parkinson's, it is TRAPS, so tremor, rigidity, akinesia, or bradykinesia, postural instability or stoop posture. And they also will have mass facies. And so the difference between Lewy body and Parkinson's, because they both have Lewy bodies in them, is that Lewy body is going to have hallucinations first, and then the other decline, and then Parkinson's is going to have the Parkinson features, the TRAPS, and then they can have hallucinations. Frontotemporal is going to be super fast decline, but it's like, since it's in the frontal lobe, it's going to be behavior, personality, characteristics, and that's going to be fast. And then Creutzfeldt, or like Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, is based on the prion, and that's super fast, and within a year the patient has deceased. Let me see, what else? Oh yeah, the tracts. Spinal thalamic is the only one that is descending. Everything else was an ascending tract, and spinal thalamic is contralateral because it decussates, which means it just crosses over immediately in the thalamus, and everything else doesn't decussate until the medulla on its way up to the brain. What was something else I was sure? Here go all the mental status that I could not get earlier. Oh my gosh. All right, so subdural hematoma, I kept thinking everything was epidural. Epidural is the trauma of hitting your head, brief loss of consciousness, then you wake back up, and it could be a quick demise. You definitely need like a craniotomy to relieve the pressure from that. But for subdural, I thought it was just like older adults, like maybe like someone's beating them, or elderly abuse. But there was a question on like a kid who had it, and so it is with the bridging veins. And since it's outside the suture lines, if you see like bump on the head, that could also be a subdural hematoma. So bump on the head, also gonna have some focal neural deficits, and one of them was like papilledema, and I think it was also like vomiting and like confusion, headaches. Yeah, gotta relieve that pressure. What else? Oh, Dr. Hayya put me on for tuberous sclerosis. I like just knew it had seizures, but the whole acronym ASHLEAF, so A is for Ashleaf, spots, S is for shagreen patches, H is for heart rhabdomyosarcoma, leaf. L is for lung angiomyolipoma, hamartoma. E is for ependymal something, and epilepsy, so seizures. And then A again is the angiolipoma or something in the kidney, so angiomyolipoma in the kidney. And then facial angiofibroma, so like that's the acne form. Yeah, oh yeah, internal capsule. I didn't notice that this is the one where it's complete hemiparesis. So if it's the upper and the lower body impaired, you know, it's a lacunar stroke, so inside the internal capsule. But if it's a stroke where it's just like the lower body, that's in the ACA, so it's in the frontal lobe. And if it's just the upper body in the face, that's gonna be the MCA, just like more on the side. And then most common type of stroke is gonna be ischemic, and it's gonna be an MCA. Kind of crazy because I saw this when I was on stroke, but yeah. Oh yeah, toxoplasmosis and cysticercosis are both ring-enhancing lesions in the brain, and both are immunocompromised. But cysticercosis is going to also have calcified lesions in the brain, and for someone from like Latin America, for the most part, Latin America, Central America. Freaking Meniere's BPPV, benign paroxysmal something, vertigo, and acute labyrinthitis. So acute labyrinthitis is always gonna have the vertigo that comes after an upper respiratory illness, and Meniere's has a triad of hearing loss, tinnitus, so ringing in your ears, and what is the other one? The ataxia? Oh, vertigo, the freaking vertigo. And these are all peripheral causes. And central is gonna be stroke, tumor, multiple sclerosis. Also, Guillain-Barré is a peripheral, and so is, I think it's polio. Okay, yeah. Y'all will not believe what just happened to me. First of all, I finished my neurology rotation yesterday, but I'm back on campus because I had to come up here for physical therapy at, my appointment was for 1:15. They got me a little late, so they like accommodated whatever. And I had posted on my stories saying like, my physical therapist is going to expect more of me as a medical student, so maybe I'll finally learn this anatomy since it's directly impacting me, whatever. All that was cool. I wound up taking the campus shuttles, or the campus tunnel system to the College of Medicine, because why would I go outside when I don't have to? Like, yeah, it's warmer today because I think it's like 45 degrees in January, which is definitely an anomaly in Chicago. But yeah, like I just take this tunnel system, whatever. So I always come up through the alumni room because that's where the microwave is that I use. As I'm coming through, someone's like, oh my gosh, like grab you some food, it's so much leftovers. And at first I only see these turkey sandwiches. So I'm like, okay, I can grab a couple of turkey sandwiches. Mind you, I have candy yams, dressing, and string beans for my lunch and some fried chicken. So I really didn't need no food, but my father earlier today was like, oh, I told your mother to buy you some food. And I was like, I got food at home. I mean, and I do have food at home, but after I turned from putting those sandwiches in there, I saw some mashed potatoes, some like, it looked like homemade biscuits, and then some string beans. I was like, oh, I'm about to go to town. And then I found some apple pie, y'all. So I got all of that. And the woman, she was like, oh, are you one of our residents? Are you one of our medical students? And I was like, oh, I'm a medical student. I'm a third year. She asked me what I was going into. I told her. She was like, oh, have you met Dr. Such and so? And I was like, no, but I've heard such great things about her. And she's actually done like almost everything that I want to do. She's like, do you want me to introduce you? And I'm like, well, that's a little scary, but sure, why not? So then I asked her what her name is. She tells me, and then she's like, oh yeah, I'm a nephrologist. Not you over here just introducing yourself, first and last name, like you just some regular person. But also I love that, like someone who doesn't lead by their title, but just like, she was a kind person, didn't know me from here to Timbuktu. And she's like, look at you just taking the campus tunnel systems and not knowing you were gonna stumble upon some food. I'm like, yes, you see how this fell in my lap and my father was gonna pay for me to get some food, and look at me now. So I just had to say that, like, I'm so happy taking this little break to eat my lunch, and then I'll go back to studying for this neurology exam. And yeah, it's gonna be great. Like, this is all good energy. And I scheduled a massage for today as well. So my massage is in 2.5 hours. But now that I have 2 of these plates, I'm gonna have to go home and drop the food off before I go to my massage, which is also cool because then I'll also be able to drop off my book bag and I don't have to bring that in my lunch bag. So yeah, I just bring my purse in, get this relaxation in, come back home, and probably do some last minute questions before watching some TV and going to bed at a decent hour. And yeah, so we're gonna get back into some studying. I'm on campus. And I thought I was gonna have a whiteboard. I don't have one, but clearly this is a study vlog or a day before the exam vlog. I do this before every single exam. So we're gonna just keep business as usual, but that really made me happy. It made me smile. I love that for me. wasting of his extremity muscles, which are apparent in the extensor side. Weakness began distally and asymmetrically. Recently started to have difficulties with swallowing, chewing, and speaking. Feels more. Some movement in the face and tongue. Muscle stiffness. Bowel, bladder, cognitive functions intact. Physical exam reveals excessive wasting of his muscles, which is more prominent and lower. Fasciculations and hyperreflexia. Bulbar is also decreased. So he sounds like ALS, which would be upper and lower. Love when I'm right. Yep, patient has ALS because they had upper motor neuron was the hyperreflexia and the fasciculations, I believe. Whereas fasciculations low-key lower, but I know that the muscle wasting is the atrophy, and that's lower for sure. So let's see what they say. Yeah, fasciculations is lower, because I was like, I feel like that's not upper. Spasticity and exaggerated deep tender reflexes are upper. Cortical bulbar tract damage due to upper motor neuron symptoms, sometimes described as pseudobulbar palsy, can cause dysarthria, dysphagia, and pseudobulbar effect. Fasciculations, weakness, and atrophy indicate which are following most likely cause of the symptoms. 67-year-old man comes to the ED with a right arm and leg weakened and said first noticed approximately 2 hours ago. Okay, so possible stroke. He's now unable to shake hands and walks with a mild limp. Patient has also had a mild constant headache past several days that he attributes to stress from a new project at work. Medical history is significant for hypertension, hyperlipidemia. The patient does not smoke or consume alcohol, and the pulse is normal. Mild asymmetry of the lower face, decreased muscle strength in the right arm, and positive Babinski on the right. But that's not good. It's upward of plantar. Sensory exam is normal. Blood glucose is high, 210. ECG shows sinus rhythm with occasional premature ventricular complexes. So with occasional PVCs could be AFib. Non-contrast CT scan of the head reveals no abnormalities. If he has AFib, that could have been a clot. It bust from the heart and it went up to the brain. Small penetrating artery lipohyalinosis, no. Ruptured saccular aneurysm, no. Low flow internal carotid artery occlusion, cerebrovenous sinus thrombosis, cardiac artery intimal tear, no. Isn't an intimal tear like aortic dissection? What is this lipohyalinosis? And low flow internal carotid artery occlusion. Maybe. Dang, it was the one that I uncrossed out, and I knew it. All right, so this was a lacuna stroke again. So I'm not sure. Pure sensory stroke, that's what I need to know. Okay, that's
Failing step 1 twice taught me so much. And that was, I cannot sit in my house at my desk for 10 to 14-hour days studying the same thing over and over again. By the time I got to my 3rd year of medical school, I finally understood this. The trauma of not passing step 1 but passing shelf exams gave me some confidence to know that I didn't need to sit in the same place doing the same thing repeatedly. This is the reason why I start the day with my study with me, because I need that level of discipline, that level of focus, that routine to actually start studying. But then I went to campus to get a change of scenery. And then by the time I got home, I got the TV on in the background to keep me company, even though it's on mute, because I'm not really watching it, but I wanted to be comfortable. So this is why I'm sitting on my couch and I'm studying, even though by this time I shouldn't be studying anymore. And the answers that I'm choosing are actually incorrect. And I'm trying my hardest not to get discouraged. But I know that if I get it wrong today, that means tomorrow I won't get it wrong anymore. And that's what's most important, right? I like to tell myself that I want to keep going by any means necessary, but no, my mental health is so much. It means so much more than performing well or trying to burn myself out for anything or anyone. So if you're studying for an exam, I hope you take breaks. I hope you switch up your scenery, and I hope you do it while you're comfortable. Because at the end of the day, you matter most, and then the knowledge will come freely. Ooh, all right. It has been quite the day. Pretty long. Started with that 4-hour study with me session, and then went to campus for physical therapy, studied for an hour on campus, then went to get a massage, and like back and forth while I'm traveling, I was doing UWorld questions on my phone for my neurodegenerative disease block, and that wound up being really good. I got an 81%. Then I switched to like the spinal cord lesions, and it's not going too well. So I'm kind of like, think I should just stop and likely get up early in the morning. It's 10:30 now. Yeah, I typically don't like to study in the bed, but I was tired of sitting on my couch, and I need to make sure my swim bag is packed for tomorrow, as that is my exam day ritual. I did not do it after my last block exam or my last rotation exam, and I need to be in the pool. The last time I went swimming was maybe beginning of December I went, but I'm going to start like actually going every 2 weeks. So, because I need to start washing my hair more anyway. But this is how a typical day before an exam goes for me. My study partner is on a year off in grad school getting another degree. And so she had grad school things to do today. She didn't get to study with me today, which is like, because I love our study sessions. We always both say something to each other that like helps other out while we're taking the test. But we did study yesterday, so that helped to solidify some of my differentials between Lewy body dementia and vascular and Alzheimer's. So yeah, and the fact that I actually had a patient, well, this is like kind of related, unrelated, but while on neuro, I had a patient who we were consulted to see if they had Parkinson's disease, and they did not. So I'm able to actually remember those features a little better. And also knowing that when someone's in like a catatonic space, that other providers who are not neurologists may think that this could be Parkinson's or Parkinsonian, and it isn't necessarily, because you have to go through the entire diagnoses, and Parkinson's can be diagnosed clinically. You don't have to run any test or anything for it. All that to say, by the time you see this, I would have taken the exam, but still, wish me well. I won't know my exam score by the time you see this. May or may not share that, but I know that I've done the work, and I'm just gonna finish listening to this audiobook and take my butt to bed so I can actually work out in the morning and quiet my mind. Interesting, if I'm going swimming tomorrow, I technically don't have to work out before I go. But I might just want to do like a quick cardio workout to get my heart rate up and the blood flowing and the nerves dissipating. Thanks for coming and spending the day with me as I study for my neurology shelf exam, which is my second to last shelf exam of medical school, meaning my medical school exams are coming to an end. Hallelujah. I am so grateful. We are grateful, God. Prayed to be in this place. It's an honor to be here. And it's an honor to be close to my way out of here, okay? Catch y'all in the next video. Good night.